Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Quick Points Podcast. I'm Pat O'Rourke. I'm the sports editor at the BU News Service. Alongside me is BU News Service contributor Alex Hirsch. And Alex, another win for the Patriots. They're 9-0, and before we start,
nerve-wracking win.
Yeah, but
hell of a win.
they definitely exercised some demons in that game, though.
Oh my God, absolutely.
Between the final drive and the dropped interception, the dropped touchdown pass, it seemed like everything went wrong for the Giants in the last 3 minutes of the game, as opposed to everything going wrong for the Patriots in the last 3 minutes of the game.
It's
which
about
was
time
very
we
nice
got
to
some
see.
good karma. It's about time. Last 3 games, it's been. I think God was probably like, hey, you can have this one. You've lost your last 2 Super Bowls to this team on ridiculous plays. So
pretty much. And then there was a game in 2011 where they lost. Yeah, they lost that one, the final drive, the great Jake Ballard game.
Football gods were smiling down on the Patriots on Sunday. So
we deserved it.
Yeah, we do deserve it. But it was one hell of a game, hell of a kick by Steven Gostkowski, a hell of a fourth quarter drive by 2-minute drill by Tom Brady, though. Giants might have messed that one up. They probably shouldn't have given us as much time. But, that's Belichick getting into people's heads without even doing anything.
Exactly. Belichick is not usually one to get out-coached. So.
No, he does not. But they're undefeated right now. They're 9-0. Question, can they run the table?
I think it's possible for them to go 16-0. You look at the remainder of their schedule, they got 7 games, and they're all winnable games. Mm-hmm. I just don't see them going 16-0 in a regular season.
Well, I think an interesting point is you look at the next 2 games. They're versus Bills at home, and then at Broncos. The interesting part about both of those games is they're both primetime. Patriots thrive in primetime. So even the Broncos are supposed to be one of the tougher teams that we're supposed to play this year.
Supposed to be.
But it's at Denver, which makes it a little bit more difficult. But Peyton's clearly hurt. He's missing this week. Osweiler's going to play. Who knows if Peyton will be back in 2 weeks. So if Osweiler plays, I'm definitely chalking that up as a win. If Peyton plays, I might chalk that up as a win anyway.
The only concern you have even with Peyton in there, the only concern you really have with the Broncos is their defense.
Well, the point is, though, my point that I'm trying to make is they're both at prime time. And prime time is, if Peyton does play, it's where Peyton normally poops himself. And it's where Tom Brady flourishes and Belichick flourishes. And I don't trust the Bills on prime time regardless. That's at home. Patriots should win that game easily.
They're probably both cold weather games, too. Night games in prime time.
Well, the Bills should be fine in the cold weather. I mean, they play in the cold weather regardless.
But Brady is unbeatable in the cold weather.
Brady's unbeatable, but Peyton just doesn't know how to play in the cold weather. And Peyton also doesn't know how to play in prime time. So I think those are 2 interesting games that, at one point people were like, well, maybe that Broncos game is the game we lose. I don't think so anymore.
I don't think Peyton knows how to play period anymore. I think he's lost it. I think he's done.
So that was a game people were considering maybe we'd lose. I don't think so anymore. I think after that you've got Eagles at home, at the Texans, versus the Titans at home, at the Jets, and then at the Dolphins. The only one that makes me a little bit nervous, it would be at Jets. Just because the Jets play us well. But the Jets don't even look good right now.
Worries me.
Oh, God, come on. That team is so bad.
But you look at the people that are there.
TJ Yates might be the starting quarterback.
Yeah, but if the people are there, that's Patriots South. It screams of the remember the Cleveland game in 2010? It could be a situation like that, except Bill O'Brien won't be getting a Gatorade shower if they win.
No,
they won't act like they won the Super Bowl.
That team is not going to beat us. That is a bad team. Good defense.
But Houston's another place. Houston is another place where weird things happen down there.
But
remember the game a few years back.
Not enough weird things for us to lose an undefeated season.
I don't know.
I don't like it. The only one that nerve wracks me is at the Jets, just because Jets play us well. I don't think the Jets are that great of a team right now. I think they have the potential to be a good team when Fitzpatrick's on his game.
Very good.
When he's on his game, that's a good team. But Fitzpatrick is such an inconsistent player that you never know what you're going to get out of him. But at Jets play us well. They step it up a notch, whether it's Rex Ryan or Todd Bowles. They played us well at home. So that's a game that makes me nervous. But honestly, I still think we could win that. I think we beat the Texans. If there's another game I had to choose, it might be the at Dolphins in Week 17.
I could see that.
Because is Tom Brady playing? Are we resting those guys? I would say if we had a Week 9 bye this year, Tom Brady be playing, we wouldn't be resting those guys. But because our bye was so early this year, this team desperately needs rest. Very much so.
But they're
and the
probably-
Dolphins could be fighting for a playoff spot. We don't know.
I mean, they're
They're not
probably
a very
going to have
good
a
team.
first-round bye already, though. So are they going to want back-to-back weeks off? Maybe they give them. Maybe they rest some guys in week 16 against the Jets, and then week 17 they put.
I'd give
everyone
them
out there.
back-to-back weeks
You
off
would.
in a heartbeat. Oh yeah, I think this is a team that you can give back-to-back weeks off.
Yeah.
But the league is so bad right
Well, I guess
now.
they did last year. Now that I think of it.
The league is so bad right now that the Dolphins, even though they're 4-5, they have a shot at being a wild card team right now.
Oh, yeah.
They
Yeah,
legitimately do. They are only 2 games back from a wild card.
Well, how
spot.
many teams are really out of it right now?
Only
The Ravens.
the Browns,
Yeah, the Browns.
um,
Handful
and
of teams.
the Chargers, because the Titans aren't even technically out of it because they
Oh,
could still
how
win
about
that
the
division. They're 2-7 right now, but they're
Yeah, but the Chargers aren't gonna. They're
no,
2-7?
no. I'm talking about the Titans are 2-7, but they could still win that division because they're
Oh,
only
yeah,
2
yeah.
games
Oh,
back.
okay, yeah, yeah.
No one in the
Yeah.
AFC South is out of it. So, but the wild card wise, the Dolphins are only 2 games back from the Steelers for the lead wild card spot, and then 1 game back from everyone else.
That's doable.
So it's absolutely doable, which means there's a good chance that they could be fighting for a playoff spot at the end of the year, which could mean, and if the Patriots are benching some players, even if they're not, maybe they're not resting them, but they're probably not playing as hard, probably not going all out. That's a legitimate chance. The question is, do you think if the Patriots are 15-0, Belichick would bench his players for another when he knows he has another shot at going to getting that infamous undefeated season? Because I'm sure that stings in the back of his head right now. The more of a sting is that they lost the Super Bowl, but
If they're trying to go 16-0, I think they go for it.
Do you think
I mean,
they're trying to run the gambit this year? I mean, that's what they wanted to do. That's what they wanted to do in 2007, and they blew everyone apart because they wanted to prove everyone.
Not to be a walking cliche, but I think you try to win every game you play.
Absolutely, but trying to win every game you play means probably not benching Tom Brady in Week 17.
Yeah, they probably play. If they're 15-0, they're playing Tom Brady in Week 17. I mean,
I like it. I like it too.
You want to go 16.
Absolutely.
That's something you want to do. That's a cool accomplishment to go 16-0. That's why that banner was up there. That's why I liked looking. That's why they shouldn't have taken that banner down.
No, I like
was
it. It's good.
that banner should still be up there. That 16-0 banner. That's something that nobody's ever done before. That's the difference between the Indianapolis Colts saying 2014 AFC finalist. Is that teams go to the teams losing the AFC Championship every year?
There's a difference.
Only one team has ever gone 16-0. That's the
Sure.
2007 Patriots.
Sure,
There
absolutely,
should be a
but it's
banner up there.
It's a harsh reminder, though, of what happened that year that they lost.
I don't know.
Absolutely. Oh, when I look at that, all I think about is David Tyree. That's all I can think about. And you know what? I bet you that's what Belichick thinks about. I bet you that's what Brady thinks about. There's no way they see it any
Yeah, we're all gonna remember that season for how it ended.
Yeah,
but
so that's a cool reminder.
But I still remember that regular season. That was such a cool regular season. That was so cool to see. That was so fun to watch. I was so invested into it. I remember that Ravens game. Where, Don Shula's in the booth cheering for the Ravens openly.
It was. But what's the similarity between that season and this season? Both are coming off of off seasons where the team was under scrutiny. So. And both are now having historic seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Brady at the helm of both of them. Belichick just there with them. Now, maybe it's a completely different team. Is Brady and Gostowski the only? I don't even know if Gostowski was on that team.
Yeah, that was Gostowski's second year.
Okay, so there's 2 players from that team, I think, if I'm correct. I don't think Nikovic was on that team yet.
Yeah, Nico was 08 or 09.
Yeah.
They signed him.
So there's only 2 people, but still. They've got this tenacity, they've got Brady, and they've got Belichick, and that's enough to propel them. And this is a team that most certainly can run the table.
Yeah, they can.
And I think that they should, because I think they need to tell the rest of the NFL, screw you. That's what they need to tell. And then this year, they need to capitalize on that screw you by winning the Super Bowl.
They have to win the Super Bowl.
They have to win the Super Bowl this year. Absolutely. Regardless whether even if they lose a game in their season, they have to win the Super Bowl.
Well, I think they're, we're talking about what do they do if they're 15-0? I don't think they're going to get to 15-0. I do think they're going to lose a game somewhere along the way because teams just don't. There's a reason why only one team has gone 16-0. It's because it just doesn't happen. You have trap games. You lose a game that you're not expected to win, and you look through all the teams that have gone.
You really think that's going to be the Texans?
It could be. Here's what it's going to be. It's going to be a game that we expect them to win. They're going to go into.
Don't we expect them all to win them all? I expect them to win every single one of these games.
Yeah, that's kind of my point. Is that
then you have no choice for it to be a game that they expect them to win.
we're going to expect them. There's no way they're going to lose. It's going to be something like the Texans, where the Texans aren't a good team. They don't have a quarterback, but I think, again, that's a team that I could see winning. Going down to Houston is a underrated. We talk about
It's underrated
Miami
defense. That's it.
I'm talking about the venue, Reliance Stadium. Playing at Houston. It's we talk about Miami. We talk about Denver. Some people even talk about Indianapolis, where just you go there and things happen. Weird things happen over Brady's.
If
Houston
Brian Hoyer is the starting quarterback, don't you think Belichick is
but
just
there's
destroy
again
him?
there's something. Remember that game 2 years ago? They just barely walked out of Houston with a win against the Houston team that was awful. I think they won like 3 games. They lost like their last 12 or 13 games.
The difference at the time
Kubiak's last year.
Yeah, but the difference at that time was
where Welker shredded his knee.
But that was a legitimate team that played bad, and they were able to step it up the next year because this is a bad Houston team. The team that the Patriots played a couple of years ago, even though they lost, was a legitimate Houston team, but they had lost their starting quarterback in Matt Schaub. So. And Matt Schaub
I still think that's a really good defense.
But it was a really good defense back then.
Yeah, and they had a really good defense back then, too.
But it was a really good offense as well. Absolutely. Andre Johnson and healthy Arian Foster is a very good offense.
They still had no quarterback.
Well, that's because Matt Schaub got hurt.
Yeah.
Matt Schaub, when he was healthy.
Who was their quarterback? I don't even remember their quarterback was.
Wasn't it T.J. Yates?
Was it T.J. Yates?
Or Casey Keenum? Maybe?
I don't think Keenum was there yet. No, maybe it was Keenum. I don't know.
The point being was that they were down a starting quarterback. That was a legitimate team, and a team that many people pegged to be a playoff contender that year. So this is not a team that anyone pegs to be a playoff contender, even though they kind of are.
I thought there were people that thought they could.
Who thought they were going to be a playoff contender?
Is it like
Ryan Mallett and Arian Foster?
Is it like a wild card team? Is it like a wild card team?
I think you're pulling something out of your butt right now, Pat.
No, there were people.
No one.
No, there were a lot of people who were saying they were kind of like Buffalo, where they didn't have a quarterback. They had a very solid team around them.
Who was solid around him? Arian Foster was supposed to be out for the first 6 weeks. Mm-hmm. They lost Andre Johnson. No one was solid around him. Their offensive line was in shambles.
Well, I think the big thing was
their defense.
The big thing was their defense.
But that
defense, J.J. Watt.
Yeah, but I don't think anyone.
J.J. Watt's. By the way, J.J. Watt's a very overrated player.
Oh well, we can get into that. That's a different story.
That's for a few weeks away.
But no, this team, the Texans team back when we came out of there, that was a good team. Missing a starting quarterback. This is a bad team, also missing a starting quarterback. Mm-hmm. And Brian Hoyer, I just feel like if Belichick is getting to go against Brian Hoyer, he's licking his chops. Oh my God, Belichick knows everything about Brian Hoyer, and his defense knows Brian Hoyer still too. So I can't see how the Texans, even if mysterious things happen in Reliance Stadium, I can't see how they win it. The one game I thought that maybe they could have lost was Sunday's game, and they almost did. And you know what?
It's the Giants game.
The Giants game. And you know what? I'm almost happy that they barely won it. Because they did win it, which I'm happy about, and then they barely won it, which I'm happy about, because I think it is good, and I think Mike Felger and Tony Maserati, they talk about this all the time on 98.5 Sports Hub. They talk about how it's important to have games that test your character and test your mentality and test your team. And this was one of them. We have had very few of those.
Well,
the Colts was one of them.
2007, there were quite a few of them, though.
Yeah, but this year.
That Eagles game, that Ravens game.
I'm talking about this year, though. Been very few. There was the Jets and there was the Colts, and really that was it. And not even as much the Colts, because the Colts had a comeback. I mean, they were pretty much blowing the Colts out for most of that game. But the Jets, that was a close game. And then it was, on Sunday's game.
I mean, I think biggest...
And they came back and did it against all their demons. So that was the game. They got over it. They got over their hump, and now it's a clear path.
Yeah, but I think their character's been tested all season long with all the crap they've had to go through. You talk about the mudslinging that went on during the OTAs and throughout training camp with all the Deflategate stuff. Then you got all the nonsense popping up. No, but you got to deal with it.
Everyone's got to deal with nonsense. Everyone has to deal with nonsense. That's not the same as being
But
contested.
not every team has to deal with week in and week out. People saying that you cheated in litigation and Deflategate and all that crap.
That's different. This is being contested on the field. And this is one of the few games we've actually been contested on the field where Malcolm Butler actually went up and shut someone down. Completely shut Odell Beckham down. We saw what the secondary was made out of. We saw what this defensive line was really made of. We saw what this offense was made of with a fourth quarter drive, which we haven't had to do all season long, a last minute drive. And that's the mentality you want to see. So they're tested by all the crap that they're getting from the media. But this is a different kind of testing, and they proved it and passed it.
I mean, going back, I mean, looking through the teams that the past teams have started out 12-0, 13-0, really going back to the 98 Broncos. You had the 98 Broncos. You had the Colts in 05. You had the Patriots in 07. The Saints and the Colts in 09, and then the Packers in 2011. Obviously, the only one over that stretch has been the Patriots going 16-0. But all of those teams really have one thing in common. They start out 12-0. They have 12-0, 13-0. There is one big win along there, like the few weeks before they lost that first game, where it's like, okay, they win this game. Okay, they got this. They're 12-0. They got 4 games left against these, teams. There's no way they're going to lose to any of these teams. Mm-hmm. I think the Broncos game next week, they come out of Denver with a win over the Broncos, which I think will happen. I said a few weeks ago it was going to be like 41-10 when everyone was touting their defense. I think it's like 34-10 now. Now that Edelman's hurt.
I don't see the Broncos as a big win anymore.
I never did.
I did, I don't anymore.
Yeah, but I never believed their defense. It's Kubiak and it's Wade Phillips. Belichick has waxed them. You talk about your brain melting at the sight of Belichick. Wade Phillips and Mike Kubiak are like the.
But if your point you were just trying to make is that you come out of a big win and then you end up losing the following week. So what's the big win?
Maybe not the following week, but the week, a few weeks after. I think the big win's probably in Denver.
But we just said we don't think that is a big win anymore.
But for a lot of people think it's a big win. That's going to be the big roadblock.
I think people used to think that, and I think they saw that at the beginning of the year. But now they're seeing how banged up Peyton is, how bad he is even when he's healthy, and they're seeing the defense struggle a little bit right now. I'm not so sure a real Patriot fan thinks that's a big win anymore. I think they saw the Giants as the big win, which if your point is that they come out a couple weeks later, then that means the Broncos might be the trap game.
I don't think the Broncos are a trap game.
Because the big win, in my opinion, is the Giants. So if your point is maybe 1 or 2 weeks later, after a big win, you lose it because you're so, you're hung up in the past, or you're not working as hard, that would mean either this week or against the Bills or this week against the Broncos. And I just don't see either. The Patriots don't lose in prime time, except for in the Super Bowl to the Giants, and that's about it.
Well, I think with the Giants were a big win. That was a team the Patriots were far better.
I mean, have you ever seen Belichick so ecstatic after a regular season win? I never have.
Yeah.
I mean, that was incredible. He was so happy. I've never seen that before.
And that was against the Giants, too, which is an organization he has all the respect in the world for.
But he needed to get that monkey off his back.
He credits everything to the Giants. He credits his whole career to the Giants.
He needed to get the monkey off his back, though, and he did. Yeah. So what's to stop him from just blowing everyone out of the water now? In my opinion, the only thing to stop him is injuries. Yeah. It's Edelman and it's Dion Lewis. If the Patriots lose to the Texans or to the Broncos or the Eagles, Titans, Dolphins, Jets, they're not losing to them. They're losing to themselves, most likely. And it's on their own mistakes. No team is going to come and play the Patriots or go have the Patriots come to them and beat the Patriots. Patriots can only beat themselves right now. And with Edelman and Dion Lewis out, and now this offensive line pretty damn banged up, though it's going to be hard. But if the defense has been able to stay pretty healthy. I know Collins has been hurt, but it's not a season-ending injury. It's just a weird.
Well, what is going on with Collins? Does anybody know?
He's sick.
He's sick.
It's a weird illness.
He's been sick for a week and a half.
Right.
I mean,
he's been.
You don't have the flu
for
a week and a half.
Well, you might. Who knows what type of illness he got?
Know.
The point is, it's not.
I'm starting to get worried about that.
It's not a season-ending injury for most likely.
Yeah, shouldn't be.
It's an illness. Jabal Sheard's finally back, which is good. And when Collins comes back, that team's going to be blitzing like crazy and getting to the quarterback after the quarterback. Secondary's healthy. Everyone's healthy on that defense, so that's big. Because the defense, we need everyone to be healthy because there's not a lot of depth in the secondary, at least.
See, this is the same exact thing. Like people in Green Bay were probably saying this in 2011 when they beat the Lions on Thanksgiving. Oh, who's going to beat this? Who's going to beat this Green Bay team? They ended up losing to Kansas City, who was like 5-8.
But the Green Bay team is not the Patriots team.
That was a pretty good team, though.
Doesn't matter. I don't
Defending
think it matters.
Super Bowl champions.
I will never compare Mike McCarthy to Bill Belichick.
Oh, me neither. But I'm saying that was a very good team.
There's been a lot of really good teams that have been
like
undefeated.
This Patriots team. People thought this team should.
I will not compare a Patriots undefeated team to any other undefeated team except for a Patriots undefeated team. Because there's no team that's better. There's no undefeated team in my mind that's better than a Patriots undefeated team. With Belichick at the helm and Brady. You got the best coach in the world ever, and you got the greatest quarterback of all time. So regardless of how great that team
if we're
going
to compare to another Patriots team, well, let's talk about the 07 team. You remember that Ravens game, right?
Yeah.
They lose that Ravens game if Rex Ryan doesn't call a timeout. That's fact, not opinion.
But they won it.
But they didn't convert that fourth down.
They won it. It doesn't matter.
Rex Ryan called a timeout out of nowhere.
It doesn't matter.
But I'm saying they should have lost that game if it had not been for a dumb timeout call.
But what does the record say?
Oh, yeah, they went 16-0.
They won it. So it doesn't matter because there's going to be strange things that happen in all the games right now. Belichick gets into people's head without even trying to. That is something that's happening. We saw it on Sunday night with Tom Coughlin not running the ball and instead throwing the ball. We saw it in the Super Bowl with Pete Carroll throwing the ball instead of running the ball. Belichick gets into people's heads without even trying, so there's always going to be some other coach's mistake of doing it, and the Patriots will always capitalize on that mistake. That's what makes them so good. So when we compare this team to the 2007 team, the question is this team better, which we discussed last week. I think the Patriots team is better this year. Now, though, with Edelman and Dion Lewis out.
I think their defense is better.
Well, with Edelman and Dion Lewis out, I don't think they are better anymore. But I think this team is still way better than anyone else in the league and can easily run the table. And I don't think that there's anyone in the way to stop them because this offensive line should be getting healthier. Ideally, Trey Jackson should be back soon, or otherwise they would have put him on the IR. Shaq Mason should be getting healthier. Brian Stork's getting healthier. And then Volmer got a concussion, so he should be back in a week or two, maybe this week. So this team should be getting healthier. LaFell's starting to get the hang of things as well. He's looked pretty good the last 2 weeks. I think
LaFell's looks great.
The interception was not LaFell's fault. Brady took accountability for it. He said it was a throw he shouldn't have made. Or bad throw is what he said. It was just a bad throw. So I think this team is still really good, and still, even if they're not as good as the 2007 team, the league was better in 2007. The league is not better. The league this year is bad. And the teams we're playing, oh my God, Bills, I'll take that as a win. A crappy Broncos team right now, take it as a win. The Eagles, they just lost Bradford to a concussion, and even with Bradford,
they won't beat.
I prefer Bradford than Sanchez. I think Sanchez is a better fit for that team, anyways. It's a bad team regardless.
I would take if I could play Mark Sanchez 17 weeks out of the year, I would take that.
I prefer Bradford, but the point is that team's bad regardless. Okay, and then you got the Texans who. We will both agree are not a good team. You think it might be a trap game, which I'll give you the respect on that.
They're Foxborough South. Look at their coaching staff.
But they're not a good team though. That doesn't mean they're a good team. They might you think it's a trap game. I disagree, but the point is it's not a good team. Titans are not a good team.
Titans are terrible.
They're not a good team. The Jets are not a very good team, and the Dolphins are not a very good team either. So we've got 7 games left? Am I counting that right? 7 games left against not very good teams.
Yep.
That should speak for itself. This team should be able to go undefeated.
Should be able to.
But we'll find out.
We've always seen. We've said this about so many teams and Patriots teams too. I mean, the Patriots in 2004, the greatest Patriots team ever in 2004. They were supposedly on the fast track to going 15-1, and then they played I think it was like a 1-13 Miami Dolphins team. They lost that one. So, I mean, anything can happen, and again, when you're on a streak like this, I just think things happen in games, and I just don't see it happening again.
Well, not this year. When things happen in games, they're working in Patriots' favor right now, and I'm gonna keep riding that until something changes. But we'll take a week by week basis. They play the Bills on the 23rd at 8:30 p.m. primetime game at home. We'll see what happens then. That about wraps up Quick Points for today. I'm Alex Hirsch alongside the BU News Service sports editor, Pat O'Rourke. Tune in on Friday for our next episode of 4 and Out. Should be a good one. We'll be talking a lot of things. There'll be some good points to catch up on then.
And of course the predictions.
Oh, of course our predictions, which will obviously be Patriots as well. So until then, maybe not. I guess who knows? Maybe we'll throw a curveball in there. Until then, have a good rest of the week.